And what I'll do now is I will turn it over to our colleague, Enrique Guerrera, who's going to talk about some of the automated tools that he's been using on the surface web to combat similar issues. So Enrique is going to share his own slides this time, and take it away, Enrique.
Thank you, Bryce and Russell. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Enrique Guerra. I'm a student of Dr. Bryce Westlake, and I'm a master's student at San Jose State University. Today, I'll be presenting my research on the traits of websites hosting and displaying child sexual abuse images on the surface web. Combating distribution of child sexual abuse material has heavily focused on content characteristics for detection. More specifically, keywords commonly associated with child sexual abuse material, such as preteen hardcore, and digital fingerprints for files, known as hash values. However, each of these techniques have significant limitations. Therefore, in this research, we argue that locations and naming practices of websites hosting and displaying child sexual abuse material can be used in conjunction with existing methods to improve detection results. To conduct this research, we analyzed 104 websites located on the surface web containing 77 unique child sexual abuse hash values that were displayed in 15,790 locations. The first important finding based on the data was that websites hosting child sexual abuse images were rarely the websites displaying child sexual abuse images. Of the 104 websites that either hosted or displayed images, only 21 did both. This accounted for just 12% of the 15,790 hash values. On the other hand, 21 websites were involved in only hosting child sexual abuse media, while 62 websites were involved in only displaying images. Our second important finding was that websites displaying child sexual abuse images made little effort to conceal their purpose. In fact, they were more focused on prominent displaying of images and organization. Displaying websites were focused on prioritizing content exposure. Of the 83 websites displaying child sexual abuse images, 51 of them had their media located in the root folder. In other words, no subfolder was used to conceal their images. This accounted for 63% of displayed child sexual abuse images. 13 websites did demonstrate some effort to possibly conceal their purpose by displaying images at the fourth subfolder level. However, it's more likely that subfolders were used to organize content than to conceal it. 18 websites used some type of date folder structure that were indicated as year/month. This accounted for 28% of the hashes. A manual examination of the URL names of images was used to draw conclusions on how well, or if at all, displaying websites made an effort to conceal their images. When it came to naming folders and files, displaying websites rarely attempted to falsely label their child sexual abuse media. They used extremely explicit names such as "a boy wanking his nice uncut cock.jpg" and "hot boy shows how he comes for you.jpg." Our third important finding was that hosting websites also did not appear to believe that hiding child sexual abuse images in multiple subfolders was a useful law enforcement detection avoidance strategy. Instead, 57% of hosting websites were focused on organizing their content, with over 2/3 of their hash values being sorted into a year/month structure. While we cannot definitively say whether the year/month structure was created by the website or the user, neither answer points to concealment efforts. Because websites hosting child sexual abuse media carry more risk than displaying websites, it's unsurprising that hosting websites went to greater lengths to conceal their content using innocuous naming techniques. We found that images on hosting websites were often falsely labeled using a series of random alphanumeric characters, such as 0259334.jpg or Tumblr-LEJNZC6.jpg. Images also appeared to be labeled under irrelevant titles in an attempt to conceal their nature of the images, such as friendforyou.flower.gif or Miley Cyrus pink bikini.jpg. Our study revealed two types of hosting websites. The first were hosts with a lot of images, but with fewer connections. The second were hosts with fewer images, but a lot of connections. Assuming that there are two types of hosts, a decision needs to be made about which one's more important to target for combat, the one with most images or the one with most connections. Regardless of the priority, it's likely that the known hash values identified are not the only child sexual abuse images located on these hubs. There were 4 websites that hosted more than 7 unique child sexual abuse images in their websites. For the third one, for 3 of them, the primary naming technique was using alphanumeric randomized characters, and for the 4th one, they used Miley Cyrus as a cover-up. Our findings reinforce the need to customize strategies to the end goal. The objective needs to be either maximum media detection or maximum connections. Combat needs to determine the best hosting website for target. When combating the distribution of child sexual abuse media, there are 2 potential targets: the website displaying the media and the website hosting the media. Current combat strategies appear to choose websites indiscriminately or focus on targeting displaying websites. Because we found that only 20% of websites only hosted or displayed child sexual abuse images, this strategy is likely to have little impact on overall distribution. Scanning for displaying websites is easier, as most of them are likely to display images prominently and use descriptive names to describe their images. Other researchers place huge importance of hub disruption in combating child sexual abuse distribution. By removing a hosting website, child sexual abuse images are effectively removed from all displaying websites. This can be accomplished more effectively by directly targeting hosts or targeting the more overt displaying websites, and structurally linking back the displayed images to these hosting hubs. We have 3 overarching conclusions from our research that can inform law enforcement strategies. Firstly, because websites are displaying images are rarely the websites hosting these images, targeting hosting hubs rather than displaying websites could be an effective way to increase content removal effectiveness. Second, hosting websites are focused on organizing the child sexual abuse images, while displaying websites are focused on attracting viewers to their content, with both rarely employing detection avoidance strategies. Hosting websites that did hide their content use innocuous folder and file naming strategies. Introducing machine learning strategies into automated detection tactics that look for weird, long file and folder names could prove really useful for finding previously unhashed child sexual abuse images. And lastly, the structure of displaying and hosting websites can be a useful additional criterion for detecting child sexual abuse images on websites, with the focus on searching for year/month folder structures. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you, Dr. Westlake, for your mentorship, and everyone feel free to ask questions in the chat. Thank you.